Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be making a video about something that I saw yesterday and I felt like it needs to be said. So yesterday, me and my mother went to the gym and we saw as we were leaving, we saw a woman that was wearing like gym pants, but they weren't the normal gym wear. It was like pants that kind of show off your butt more, and I guess that kind of like, shows off like your butt crack and everything. I don't even know. It wasn't like it was literally showing, but it was like one of those pants that kind of like shows off basically like your butt. It shows off your butt a lot. So, and I saw that. I saw how she was dressed. It wasn't like she was showing any skin, but she was wearing pants that kind of emphasize like the shape of your butt and kind of like, and it's one of those kinds of pants that kind of like show off your butt crack and everything. Like you get what I'm saying? You get what I mean. You get what I mean, like the creases of your butt. You get what I mean. Anyways, I saw that yesterday and it made me think like, why it made me think, it's those kinds of women that will go to the gym, wear stuff like that shows off your butt or shows off your boobs or shows like skin and everything. You'll come to the gym with just a bra on and things like that. And it just makes me think like, these are the same kind of women who will go to the gym just like that and then will get mad that men are staring and will get mad at the fact that like, men are looking at them. But my thing is like, and I heard someone say this. If you douse yourself in meat, and then jump into a lion's den, you can't be mad at the lions for, mauling you, for attacking you. Like, you can't be mad at the lions for coming at you if you douse yourself in meat and you do everything to attract the lions. Women have to understand, the men nowadays are a slave to their lust. A majority of the men in this country, the majority of the men in this world are a slave to their lust. They do not have the self-control. They don't have the self-control. Not only that, but like, majority of the people in this world have these demons because they're sleeping around, they're doing everything. They have these demons. And they haven't sought the Lord to get rid of these things. They haven't tried to control themselves. So you are literally dealing with men who have demons, who have let the demons take over. That's why you see so many people with like, so many men killing their families, killing people, raping people, doing terrible things. That's because they're letting these demons take over. These are men who are not spiritually led. So they have no self-control. They're all over the place, looking at women, doing terrible things in public. And you are literally making yourself a target because, and it's a recipe for disaster too, because the women nowadays, you guys have these kinds of Jezebel type spirits. You guys have these kinds of like sleeping around and thinking that there's no repercussions for your actions, those attract demons too. When you're sleeping around, those attract demons. I mean, that attracts demons. Those types of activities attract demons. That's what I mean. So you have to understand, it's a recipe for disaster because you haven't gotten deliverance. So you're allowing your demons to let you think that it's okay to be half dressed outside. And then they have their demons, which are basically telling them to attack women, to go after women, to look at women in provocative ways, to think about them in inappropriate ways. So it's a recipe for disaster. The demons are literally working together to get you to dress like you have no sense, like you're completely naked, and then they're getting the men to they're turning the men into predators. So in the end, when you both meet, someone's either going to be dead, which most likely it's the woman. The woman's either going to be dead or completely scarred for the rest of her life, and the man is either going to be no, for the most part, the man is going to be in jail. But either way, both of these things can be preventable. We can't control the fact that there are men who have no self-control, who are a slave to their lust. You know what I'm saying? These demons are influencing them to watch porn. They're influencing them to watch all kinds of provocative things, to do terrible things to people. You can't control that. But if you're a female and you know that this is true, and you know that these men don't have any self-control, why would you want to come out of the house with no clothes on? Why would you want to come out of the house wearing things that will have and attract men to look at you? And then when they look at you, you want to get mad and say that they shouldn't be looking at you. Why are you dousing yourself in meat and then jumping into a lion's den? Why are you doing that? That's so unnecessary. You can prevent yourself from being harmed. You can prevent yourself from being hurt. You can't control what other people do, but you can control your own actions. And my thing is, if you know that these men are predators out here, you know that they are, why are you dressing like you have no sense? Like, why are you half dressed and coming outside? That just doesn't make any sense. It's like and then you get mad at the fact that if they even look at you, it's a problem. But you don't ever want to have to take any kind of accountability on yourself on am I doing something? Am I doing something that's going to attract this kind of attention? You learn this when you're young. So it's not like the women don't know. You know what things you wear that will attract a certain kind of attention. Things that show off your boobs a lot. Things that show off your butt too much. Wearing like half of a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Wearing things that show off that even like, I mean, off the shoulder kind of clothes too. Honestly, I feel like off the shoulder clothes too. I really feel like, you're trying to attract the attention of a man, which, I mean, I guess the shoulder thing is not that bad. I just don't know. I really feel like the shoulder thing too. You really gotta stop. But all I'm saying is, let me get back to it. When you wear things like that, you're attracting the wrong kind of attention. And I'm telling you that it is going to end with you either being dead or you being scarred for the rest of your life. You can't only put the blame on the men. Don't get me wrong. These are not, like I said, they're not spirit-led men. These are not men where they've tried to seek out the Lord and to take away these desires, to try to get rid of all of these types of thoughts. They're not trying to get rid of these thoughts. They're not trying to do anything to train themselves so that they have no self-control. That's why you see so many men cheating, and then they're trying to basically justify cheating because they're not spirit-led men. These are men who are a slave to their lust. They have no self-control. They're unable to control themselves. And then you are coming outside dressing like I don't know what. I just don't even understand. And this woman that was just like this, she was big. She was a bigger woman. So it's like I don't know. It just did not it just did not look good. And I'm not trying to body shame anyone, but I'm just saying, like, you cannot come out of the house like that. You cannot come out of the house like that and then go to the gym. And then these are the same women who will try to film men in the gym and say, like, oh, you know, look at these pervs, put in like captions and stuff like that. Saying, oh, look at these pervs looking at me and stuff. When you literally go out of your way to be right in their view so that you, and then try to do things to attract their attention, and then get mad when they're looking at you. It just doesn't make any sense. You have to take some kind of accountability for that. You know exactly what you're doing. And then for you to pretend like you don't, I just want you to know that God sees everything. God sees everything, including your intentions, including your thoughts. And all I'm saying is, if you want to stay safe, you have to take some kind of accountability and put more clothes on. Put more clothes on. Like, why do you come out of the house half naked? Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, like, you can't wear, like, a skirt or anything, or, like, you know, like, I'm just saying, like, why do you need to wear things that's showing off your butt, that's showing off your boobs? You know what I'm saying? Why do you need to wear stuff like that? And don't say that it's just because you just want to, because that's not the case. You're trying to attract these men. But then you can't get mad when you get unwanted attention. You know what you're doing. You're able to stop this whole thing. Now, I can understand if you were dressed modestly and then you were attacked. Then I could be like, you know what? Like, that was just a terrible situation. That man was just horrible. Like, she didn't do anything to provoke that kind of attention. Now, if you are half dressed on purpose and then you're out here trying to get male attention, but then you get the attention of the wrong man and then you get harmed, yeah, it was terrible for that man to do that. But why are you coming out of the house half dressed? What is wrong with you? You're asking to be attacked. That's what I'm saying. You're dressed in meat. You're all dressed in meat, and then you're just jumping in a lion's den with all kinds of predators, with all kinds of men who you have no idea what their background is. You have no idea what kind of men they are. And then you're trying to say that it's all their fault and not taking any. No, you got to take accountability. You can't say that it's just them. It's you too. You gotta change that. But yeah, I just felt like I needed to make a video like this, because how do you completely avoid accountability? That's what I'm saying. A lot of these women are not spirit-led women, because if you know that these men are like that, you need to control yourself. You need to control yourself too. Put more clothes on. Try to dress more modestly. And then a lot of times the women who are half dressed are moms. The women, you have sons, like you have daughters. Like, I'm going to be honest, right? Like, most men do not want to see their mothers half-dressed. Most men don't want to see their mothers half-dressed. They don't want to see that. Not to mention, women don't want to either. Why would you want to? And think about the example that you're teaching your daughters. You come out of the house half-dressed, and then like you see, and then when your daughters get older, your daughter's gonna end up doing the same thing. And you're putting them in harm's way. You're putting yourself in harm's way. That first, but then you're also putting your kids in harm's way too, because now when your daughters get older, they're gonna think that they should dress like that. Now, and then if they get attacked, part of this is your fault, because you could have taught them, you could have been a good example, and you could have taught them not to dress that way. But then you go out of the house, you're half dressed, and then they're thinking, oh, well, mom does it, so I'm going to do the same thing. And then not to mention your sons don't want to see you like that. Do you know how many men, at least for men and boys, but when you're in school, kids are cruel. Kids are very, very, very cruel. Another boy will look at your mother and literally call your mom a hoe. Or literally start to say that, like, you know what I'm saying? Start to say stuff about your mother. You have to control yourself. Think about your kids. The humiliation that you're putting them through. Like, some of these moms nowadays, the way that they dress, I really thought some of them were strippers. Because the way that they're dressed, you would think that they were strippers. But, I mean, maybe some of them are, but honestly, there's no way that, like, majority of them are. There's no way that majority of you guys are in the strip club. You guys are just dressing like that. I don't know why. Like, you have kids. I just want you to know, like, your son is going to be made fun of so much, like, so badly. And maybe I didn't word that correctly before, but I'm just saying other boys will make fun of your son because you are half dressed. You know what I'm saying? They're going to start to say stuff about you, and you're literally setting your kids up for failure. You're setting them up to be made fun of in school and stuff. Why would you want that? It's like, it's inconsiderate. It's inconsiderate of your kids, your daughters, because you're their influence, but then also your son, because think about, like, if you're always dressed like this, think about the women that he's going to attract when he gets older, because you're the example. Think about the women that he's going to attract when he gets older. If you're always half dressed, he's going to be going after basically strippers. Like, you just have to, you have to be mindful of your decisions when you're doing these things. You have to take some kind of accountability, because all of these problems can be prevented if you just put more clothes on. It's just that simple. It's not victim blaming. No, it's literally, how can I prevent myself from being attacked? Well, I could carry pepper spray. Well, I could dress in a way that isn't going to attract that attention. I can carry a gun with me. It's almost the same as carrying protection. I'm going to carry protection. I'm going to carry pepper spray. I'm going to be carrying a gun. Not only that, but I'm not going to be dressing. I'm not going to be half dressed to attract that kind of attention. You don't need to do that. A lot of the women out here are pretty too. You don't even really need that kind of attention. I'm telling you, a lot of the times, at least when I was growing up, if you were half dressed and you needed to do that, it's basically because, like, the face wasn't doing it. But you don't even really need to be half dressed. Like, most of these women have pretty faces. You don't need to be half dressed to be trying to get, and you're getting the wrong attention. You want attention from men, but you're getting the wrong kind of attention. You don't want that kind of attention. You know what I'm saying? Dress nicely. And then a lot of these women also are wondering why men don't want to marry them. Well, maybe it's because they don't want to give their sons a stripper for a mother. I'm just saying, like, you can't, it's like the same saying, you shouldn't, I'm not going to say you can't, you shouldn't turn a hoe into a housewife. You just shouldn't. I'm just saying, like, why would a man want to marry a woman who can't even present herself correctly? Like, you can't even come out of the house without putting on provocative clothes. You're gonna attract men who only want you for a good time. That's it. They're not gonna want to wife you. They're not gonna want to be with you if you're half dressed. You're dressed naked. Like, what? That's the kind of attention that you are going to attract. So women need to start taking accountability. You need to start taking accountability. You need to start considering the fact that, like, men have no self-control. You could tell the men to control themselves, but at the end of the day, they have no self-control. So what can you do? What are ways that you can prevent it? And don't say just carrying pepper spray. Don't, because what if it's multiple men? What if it's multiple men? There was literally just a festival in Africa where women where literally groups of men in one town were all ganging together and raping women. A whole festival about it. That's like, and it's like a tradition for them. Why? You can't go out of the house. You can't go out of the house half dressed and then be mad at the fact that, like, men are looking at you and you're getting unwanted attention. Especially if you're going out and it's late at night. It's like you're asking. It's like you want to be attacked. Do you think the only men that see you are men that you are attracted to? Or do you think that it's also men that you don't really want their attention? And it's also men who may be loners, incels, who are walking down the street. We don't know what their mindset is like. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what kind of demons are possessing their mind that they would want to just pull you into an alleyway and attack you. Why would you ever want to put yourself in that situation? I don't even want men looking at me, I swear. Like, oh my goodness. I would never want to go outside half dressed like that. It was just crazy because, and it just had me thinking, like, because I just see so many videos of women getting mad at men for staring at them at the gym. And I'm like, oh, you know, that's terrible. But then I'm looking at this, but I'm seeing it in real life. Like, you guys are literally going out of your way to wear stuff that will attract unwanted attention. You're literally bathing yourself in like I said, you're bathing yourself in meat and jumping into a den of predators. Why? Come on now. You can't do stuff like that and not take any kind of accountability. But I also think some of you guys are, to be honest, like, I'm not even gonna get into that. Because, I mean, for some of you guys, I really feel like it's hard for you guys to take accountability because some of you guys are narcissists. You guys don't want to take any kind of constructive criticism. You can't take constructive criticism without being offended, without getting your feelings hurt. But then at the end of the day, if you are attacked, you want everyone to feel bad for you, feel sorry for you, even though you didn't do everything to prevent it. If you ever go out into the woods, and you go hunting, you're not going to put on a bunch of things that attract bears. You're not. Unless you're going bear hunting, obviously. But you're not going to put on a bunch of stuff to attract predators to kill you. No, you're just not going to do that. You're going to go outside. When you go outside and you're going hunting, you're going to put on hunting attire. You're going to put on clothes that are for hunting. You're not going to be wearing freaking booty shorts and high heels, or you're not going to be wearing open-toed shoes when there are ticks everywhere. You're not going to, with no socks on, no nothing. You're not going to be wearing basically a wife beater and regular old gym shorts. That's ridiculous. You're going to be dressed in the attire for hunting. So all I'm saying is, and that's how you prepare. You prepare yourself for the event that you're going to. All I'm saying is, when you are getting dressed before you go out to the event, whatever it is, brunch, whatever, or you're going out to dinner with your friends, whatever, why don't you dress appropriate for that event? Like, why don't you dress appropriate for the occasion? Dressing appropriate for the occasion is, yes, I'm going out. Yes, I'm going out with my friends and I want to look nice and everything. But also, I don't want unwanted attention from men. I don't want men, I don't want to be attacked. I don't want men to look at me in that way that they'll want to attack me. There was a woman, I'm literally thinking about this right now. There was a woman who was walking around half dressed all the time. She posts all over her Instagram. She's walking around half dressed constantly wearing things that show off her butt crack. Like, literally, you could see, like, where, you know what I'm saying? Wearing pants like that, wearing half, and she's curvy. Like, she has a lot of, you know, she's doing this all the time. She's taking pictures like that, putting on Instagram and everything. And then and then there was this video that she posted where she was upset at the fact that this man next to her, at the table next to her, was jerking off. She was eating and everything with her friends or whatever, and there was a guy that was doing it, and then he was still doing it, and he was following them. She was trying to leave, and he was following them. That's the kind of attention. There's crazy men out here. That's the kind of attention you're going to end up attracting, because you're not protecting yourself. You're not trying to take precaution, and these men are crazy. Like I said, when these men have demons, they're literally crazy. They're willing to kill their families. They're willing to assault women and kill them. They're willing to do terrible things. And then you have you and your daughters out here dressing like you don't know, like you don't have any sense. Basically having no clothes on. What? I mean, even if you're not going to protect, at least do something, at least say something to your daughter. At least try to prevent anyone from trying to harm her. But you obviously don't care about yourself. It's evident in the way that you dress. You're dressing like that. You don't care about yourself. I could tell, because if you did, why would you want to come outside like that? He was literally jerking off right next to her in a booth, or no, it wasn't a booth. It was a table next to her, and he was following them. And I'm like, this is what I'm saying. And if this was a video, when the first video that I saw from her, all I saw was her reacting to what he was doing. But then I went to her Instagram page, and this is what she does for a living. Like, she dresses basically naked. She basically dresses naked and walks around like that. And then now she understands that she's going to attract unwanted attention. This is the kind of thing that you're attracting. You're attracting crazy men. Crazy men who have no self-control. You have to do better. We have to do better. And it's not like you can't do that. It's not like you can't do that. You can buy clothes that are less revealing. And then, not to mention, like, nowadays, there are even women who are attacking the whole modesty movement. It's like you don't even want to be protected. you're basically going out hunting with no hunting attire. So you're going to get bit by mosquitoes. You need mosquito repellent. You get what I'm saying? Dressing modestly is like mosquito repellent. It's like you need to dress in order to prevent these kinds of terrible things from happening to you. You have to do things to prevent it. You get what I'm saying? You have to do things to prevent it. You have to put mosquito repellent on in order to avoid mosquitoes biting you. You have to put more clothes on in order for you to not be cold when you're hunting. And it's the same thing. Like when you're going out, if you don't want that kind of attention, unwanted attention, then why don't you just put more clothes on so that you don't get that kind of attention? So yeah, women need to put more clothes on. Point blank period. You need to put more clothes on. I'm done with this whole my body, my choice thing, because at that point, I want you to know, if you do get attacked, I don't want to hear you getting on the internet crying. I don't want to hear it, because people have warned you over and over and over again that this will happen to you. You will be attacked if you go out like this. These men are crazy. They do have demons. They will harm you. You know this, and you still went outside half naked. You are okay with the risk. That's telling me you're okay with the risk of being attacked. You're okay with putting yourself at risk like that. Okay, if that is the case, don't make a video on the internet crying, saying that you've been attacked and that men are crazy, because it's preventable. If you're even able to make a video, you might end up being cut up in a suitcase somewhere. He might not even let you live because he knows you'll make a video. So he might just literally just chop up your body and put it in a suitcase somewhere. Not trying to be graphic, but I mean, like, you can't really, there's no telling what these demons will do. So, yeah, put more clothes on. Put more clothes on, and think of it as, you have to think of it as putting mosquito repellent so that the mosquitoes don't get you, you know? Or preparing for going out hunting, you know, so that you don't, you know, so that you could be prepared. Or the same way that you have pepper spray, the same way that you have mace. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing, but whatever. Same way that you have a gun in your purse. I think you're basically preparing for if you are attacked. Another way that you could prepare for being attacked so that you don't get attacked is if you're not dressing provocative. Like, dress to protect yourself. Dress in ways that protect yourself. Have pepper spray on you, have a gun on you, but also dress. You can dress nice and not be half-dressed. There's ways to dress nicely without being half-dressed. So, you shouldn't just have the equipment. You should also dress the part too. Like, wear more modest clothes. You don't have to wear things where your boobs are showing. You don't have to wear things where your butt is showing. You know what I'm saying? Dress more modestly. Now, I'm not saying you have to wear a dress all the way down to your ankles. No, I'm not saying that. But you could wear, you know, something nice, but also you could wear, like, nice clothes, but also clothes that aren't showing off your body. Men are crazy out here. And it's getting worse, too. And we're in the end times. It's getting worse. It's literally getting worse. Sin is ramping up right now. Yeah, sin is ramping up right now. So it's very important for us women to be protected. So, yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.